Hello, my name is Zach Standiford. I'm a athletic training major at UL. I'm in your kinesiology 443 exercise and sports psychology class with Dr. Boar. Today I'm doing my presentation on the psychology of elite athletes. And when you talk about elite athletes, you have to talk about sports psychology. I got two definitions, two associations to define sports psychology. First, according to the American Psychological Association, exercise and sports psychology is the scientific study of the psychological factors that are associated with participation and performance in sport and exercise and other types of physical activity. The American Psychological Association focuses on the applied aspect of sports psychology. Then, according to the Association for Applied Sports Psychology, applied sport and exercise psychology involves extending theory and research into the field to educate coaches, athletes, parents, exercisers, fitness professionals, and athletic trainers about the psychological aspects of their sport or activity. So the Association for Applied Sports Psychologies focuses on education and examination. The first reported person to use psychological principles to enhance performance was Coleman Griffith, also known as the father of sports psychology. He was hired as the first sports psychologist by the Chicago Cubs in 1938. Sports psychologists play three roles. They research and examine, they educate, and they assess and intervene when problems occur. All three of these roles are seen with the definitions of the Association for Applied Sports Psychology and the American Psychological Association. First, research and examination all areas of sports psychology, such as theoretical and applied. Sports psychologists have to work as researchers and on-field psychologists. They have to work as on-field psychologists to help athletes, and they have to do research and examination to promote sports psychology. Sports psychologists must be able to educate coaches, athletes, parents, school faculty, and even officials or referees of the signs and symptoms of athletes and mental health. They also must be able to assess and react when problems occur relating to athletes. Professional sports psychologists have the ability to work with individual athletes or with an entire team. They can counsel athletes to increase performance and avoid disturbance. What do sports psychologists do for elite athletes? Sports psychologists help athletes enhance performance by decreasing disturbance. They help them cope with pressures of competition, decreasing anxiety. They help them recover from injuries, stay motivated and stay confident, and return to play. They help maintain motivation, so when an injury happens, they stay highly motivated to return to play. And then they also help athletes enjoy sports. So when a team is having a rough season, they haven't won many games, they help those athletes still enjoy the sport that they're playing. Psychology of elite athletes really pertains to athletes who are getting paid to play sports, which is very few in comparison to the entire population of the world. Elite athletes such as Maya Moore or Klay Thompson are defined because of how they're made. They're made up of a rare combination of God-given talent, work ethic, and the appropriate mental qualities. All athletes have access to trainers, strength coaches, camps, and appropriate nutrition. The mental qualities is what separate elite athletes from the rest of the athletes. A'ja Wilson and Kevin Durant. All three of us could go to the same camps, work out with the same trainers, do the same strength, go to the same camps, eat the same food. I'm still never going to be as good as them because mentally I don't have the qualities that makes me elite. Tony Robbins, a life coach and entrepreneur, was interviewed by USA Today Sports, and he was asked what makes elite athletes elite. Now, he has interviewed Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and even Draymond Green, and discussed with them about being elite. And this is what he came up with. He stated that elite athletes have the hunger and desire that regular athletes do not have. That no matter how great elite athletes are, they go to the gym, the court, field, or weight room every day like it is their first day. They desire to find another level that only exists in them. They push themselves so hard that a new level of intensity comes out. They do not get comfortable with a goal. Once a goal is reached, elite athletes create new goals. This is very important. Becoming comfortable means becoming stagnant. Becoming stagnant means decreasing in performance. Goals that are created by elite athletes are usually hard to attain, maybe even impossible to reach. Goals are not simply, hey, let's win a game, or let's make a shot. It's, I want to win a championship, then I want to become an MVP, then I want to become a Hall of Famer, and then I want to be considered one of the greatest of all time. And a lot of those goals are very hard to attain. Most people will never get, and most athletes never even think about reaching. There are three characteristics of elite athletes: confidence, anxiety, and motivation. Confidence is a self-efficacy, knowing you have the ability to be successful when performing an action. If I shoot 1,000 free throws every week, I have the confidence that I'm going to be good at those free throws because I've performed it so often and been successful at it so many times. All elite athletes have anxiety. The elite ones do not allow it to become crippling or inhibit their abilities. They use the anxiety to enhance their performance and increase their adrenaline. Motivation is the experiences, struggles, and setbacks that drive athletes to practice for hours on hours to become elite. They use everything that's happened to them their entire lives to motivate them and push them to make them better to reach their goals. Deion Sanders, a former NFL football player, stated that if you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you play good. If you play good, they pay good. They pay good is the goal. That's what you're trying to. You're trying to get paid. You're trying to take care of your family. But it all starts with if you look good. If you look good, you're going to have confidence. If you feel good, your confidence is going to increase and your anxiety is going to decrease. If you feel good, then you're going to play good. If you play good, your motivation is going to increase, your confidence is going to increase because you consistently and repetitively play good. Your anxiety is going to decrease, then you're going to reach those goals. You're going to get paid. You're going to be able to take care of your family. Confidence is an emotion or state of mind commonly associated with athletic success. Elite athletes tend to have a high level of confidence, which intends to mirror their skill level. Confidence is equated to expected success. If you expect to win, you have high confidence. You expect to win because you have high confidence in your skill level or your team's skill level. Hard work and success builds confidence. In the picture, you have Steph Curry shooting a three, and you have Andrew Bogut celebrating very early. Andrew Bogut is celebrating that Steph Curry is going to make the three because he has confidence that Steph has done this before. He sees Stephen Curry every day, every week shoot thousands of three-pointers, and he knows this is wide open. He has confidence because he's seen Steph Curry do these so many times, so he's celebrating early because he has that much confidence that Steph Curry is going to make. Anxiety. This is the ability to defeat anxiety is a major quality of elite athletes. You must defeat yourself. When you defeat yourself, you unknowingly defeat everyone else. When you can beat your own anxiety and you don't allow your anxiety to inhibit your performance, it's much easier to beat everyone else because you're not worried about anything but playing your sport. And beating them is easy because you don't have to worry about being nervous or not knowing what to do because you know what to do. Michael Young did research and he wanted to see levels of anxiety and peak performance. He came up with individualized zones for optimal functioning. Each elite athlete has an optimal level of performance at their sport. If the anxiety level is in the athlete's individualized zone of optimal functioning, then the athlete will show peak performance. If the anxiety levels are too high or too low, peak performance will not be reached. So if they're not in the individualized zone for optimal functioning, peak performance will not be reached. This is why anxiety can be good or bad. All athletes have it, even the elite ones, but elite ones do not allow it to inhibit their performance. Sports psychologists strive for each athlete to reach their individualized zone for optimal functioning so they can reach that peak performance. Lastly, motivation. When an obstacle gets in the way, elite athletes need that driving force or motivation to fight through the obstacle. The motivation is your why you do what you do. There are two main types of motivation used by athletes. The more popular one and the most common one is intrinsic, but you also have extrinsic. Intrinsic is your personal drive to achieve goals and aspirations. It's your desire to become an MVP or become a champion. It originates inside the individual. It's your desire to get drafted. It's your desire to make $1 million. Extrinsic is behavior that derives from external rewards such as money and praise, outside source motivation. This is motivation coming from your parents like, hey son, I need you to make it to the NBA. Hey daughter, I need you to make it to the NBA. I need you to make it to the Olympics. I need you to make it playing baseball or softball so you can take care of our family. It comes from coaches, parents, friends. It's outside source to motivation. Injuries with elite athletes. Many elite athletes believe that they are invincible because they look at how strong they are, how physically they're equipped, and they're physical specimens, so they believe that they are invincible. And when elite athletes are injured, they are overwhelmed with emotions because they feel invincible. Emotions such as sadness, isolation, irritation, lack of motivation, anger, and frustration are some of the emotional responses that athletes have towards injuries. Then you have injuries such as a torn ACL or concussion that have serious mental effects on elite athletes. This is due to lack of a timetable. They don't know when they're going to return. All they know is they're sat down on a couch or a dark room and they can't do anything for a long period of time, and that takes toll on your body and your mental emotions. Elite athlete Picabo Street was an Olympic skier. She suffered a serious knee injury and entered a state of deep depression. She stated that she had hit rock bottom. Miss Street was able to seek counseling from a sports psychologist and was able to eventually return to skiing. This is one great example of how an elite athlete was able to use her sports psychologist and come out of her depressive state due to an injury. She thought she was invincible. She gets hurt, doesn't know what to do, hits rock bottom, seeks counseling, returns to her sport. Her sports psychologist was able to maintain motivation, cope with pressures, recover from injury, and let her enjoy her sport again. I just want to play ball. This may be one of the most misunderstood statements with all athletes. Athletes are no longer playing for fun. They play for a new contract. They play to take care of their family. They pay to get commercials or get money. And it's no longer about just playing to have fun. You have veteran athletes who are motivated to just get a roster spot because the idea of playing for a career changes many athletes' mindset. Playing for a contract. Athletes struggle and become nervous about having to change careers because they were released from a team. So your veterans are focused on getting a contract and making a team because they don't know what to do with their lives outside of sports. This is big for injured athletes because they struggle with this idea because they're left unable to do anything but sit and watch. They don't know what's next, so it's hard to maintain motivation. And this is why sports psychologists are there, because athletes can no longer just play ball. Shaquille O'Neal once said, "I'm tired of hearing about money, 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 money. I just want to play the game, drink Pepsi, and wear Reebok." And all he's saying is, I don't want to worry about anything else but playing basketball. Everything else takes an emotional toll on me and my body and my family, and it's not helping. How does society view sports psychologists? Sharing your feelings is viewed as weakness. Injured athletes are afraid to seek treatment and reveal their symptoms because it may be viewed as a sign of weakness. Showing your soft side or showing your symptoms is viewed as being soft. And in today's society, everybody wants to be strong, and soft is so debilitating that a lot of athletes don't want to be viewed as soft, so they hide their symptoms and don't seek treatment because they're afraid of that. Former elite athlete Kenny McKinley was a wide receiver for the Denver Broncos. He was found dead after committing suicide following his knee surgery. He stated that he did not know what to do with his life if he did not have football. This is an elite athlete. Excuse me. This is an elite athlete that only had football. He did not know what to do career-wise without football. Didn't know how to take care of his family. Didn't know what to do. And when he had knee surgery, he realized he wasn't going to be able to return to sports and was afraid to seek counseling, so he felt that his only option was to commit suicide. Last year, NBA player Kevin Love was struggling with some mental health issues. And he stated that the thing is, because we can't see it, we don't know who's going through what, and we don't know when, and we don't always know why. Mental health isn't just an athlete thing, this is an everyone thing. And he's saying that mentally, everyone has health issues. Some people hide it, some people show it. And he's saying that don't judge anybody from what you see because you don't know. And he's also telling the rest of the elite athletes it's okay to have mental health issues. Nobody's going to look down upon you. You need to seek treatment to increase your performance and decrease depression and avoid depression. In conclusion, confidence level and anxiety level are closely related. The higher an athlete's confidence, the less the athlete will worry about the competition because they are prepared and ready. So if you are prepared and ready, you're not going to be so anxious because you know what you're supposed to do. Then your confidence level increases. If an athlete's anxiety is too high, it may be a sign of self-doubt or lack of being prepared. You may be playing a team that's very good, and you know you're not going to win, so you're really nervous. Or you know you're not prepared because you only practice 1 day of the week instead of 4. And you're nervous because you might not know a play and you're going to lose the game. Anxiety became crippling if you allow it to. Sports psychologists work with athletes to help them enjoy sports, enhance performance, cope with pressures, recover from injury, and maintain motivation.